Welcome to A Good Life with Soul Haven, presented by Gregg, Samuel Yisrael, and Natasha, the loving chef.
Hello and welcome to this edition of A Good Life at Soul Haven with myself, Gregg, and once again joined by Natasha, the loving chef. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. It's so wonderful to be back here again, and today we're talking from Soul Haven headquarters.
Yes, you are. You're hiding because there's some hay baling going on downstairs, which is very exciting and very naturey. So I'm quite excited. I mean, I wish I could have seen that happening, but I guess it would be a bit loud for the podcast to have all that noise.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So what it is, we've got 3 tractors and a baler, and the farmer who does all the farming around and things. So so he bales about 150 bales. So yes, he started first thing this morning. He's going to go well into midnight tonight, and then he starts again at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Wow.
So it's 2 or 3 days of constant tractor noise going on around us.
He definitely earns his money. Gosh,
he certainly does.
Must be hard work.
Yeah, but talk about making hay whilst the sun shines. He certainly pushes it to the limit.
Quite literally. Because I think we've kind of come almost to the end of the really, really unpleasantly hot weather, which was, in my opinion, too hot. And now it's just more like normal summer, which is what I'm fine with. So let's just keep it like this, I think. It's nice. It's not too hot. There's, you can sleep at night, and it's a little bit cooler. So yeah, I'm fine with that.
Definitely.
So we're going to be talking about strawberries this week. So I'm looking forward to hearing all of the insights you have to share about that, and also some conversations about sounds and how we can use our own instrument, our voices. So again, that's going to be very insightful. And then our weekly recipe, which is going to be a surprise. Going to leave that for a little bit later on, and then picking our cards and giving us some inspiration for the week ahead. Looking forward to another great episode of A Good Life at Soul Haven. And first things first, tell us about Soul Haven. What's it all about?
Oh, it's so good to be back here again. So yes, the Soul Haven. We are based in Malton, just outside Northampton. We offer an award-winning community space for people to explore the seasons and the nature within us, as well as the nature outside of us. We offer a wide variety of courses, workshops, but primarily it's a place to be heard and it's a place to be seen, because so many of us don't have that safety net of space to explore truly of who we are and who our authentic selves are. So it's a space to be seen, it's a space to be heard, and also a space to understand yourself a little bit better. We get so wrapped up in the day-to-day and the patterns and the processes and the expectations of everyone and everything. We tend to forget about ourselves a little bit. So it is really finding the nature and the seasons within us.
Absolutely amazing. And just such a nice place to kind of just feel like you're in touch with nature as well, and it's kind of let go of all of the stress of modern life. And particularly at this time of year, it must be just so tranquil and so peaceful. I guess even if there's hay baling going on, it's still the smells and the sounds of countryside life that you're experiencing there.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yes, it has been hot recently, but I don't know whether you've ever experienced it when the drops of rain that do come. I mean, I don't know about you, Chris, but we had a lovely 2 hours of solid rain last night, and the smells of the nature getting wet again, like the lawn getting wet and the flowers and all the plants and things. I could almost hear the plants saying, yes, finally it's raining, finally. So I actually went outside last night about 2 o'clock in the morning and just was at one with the nature and was at one with the rain as well. It's just like, this is what it's all about. So a little bit of nature, a little bit of quietness and stillness around us. That goes on, tucked away right in the corner of Malton. You would never know we were here, really. So it's all very beautiful.
No, I love it when it rains at night, when it's been so hot, and you can just have the windows open, and it doesn't matter if some of the rain comes in, because it's just so refreshing. You can just feel the pressure going out of the air as the rain comes down. So Yeah, it's been nice. Not enough yet. Need a little bit more rain would be good. But it's starting to get sort of in that sort of windy, hot, windy sort of weather where you can enjoy the sunshine, but you don't get too hot because there's still a nice
Yeah,
breeze as you're there.
definitely.
So
We've
it's time for an update about the garden. And is it strawberry time now? Have the strawberries nearly
My
ready?
gosh, it's strawberry
Oh, it's
time.
exciting.
Absolutely, it is strawberry time. God bless. So, yeah, so there is a lot going on in the garden at the moment, the market garden, I have to say. The onions and the garlics are there. The onions and the garlic are now all pulled. So we've got an amazing abundance of garlic and onions this year. I think we've actually managed to grow over 200 onions.
Wow,
And yeah,
it's a
but
lot.
I'm quite happy with that in the kitchen.
Yeah, that must be a few wheelbarrows full of onions there.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly is. Yeah, and they've been basking out in this glorious sunshine that we've been blessed with. So the onion skins are all nice and crisp. So they've now gone into storage. And then we must have done about 400 bulbs of garlic this year as well, because I use a lot of garlic in the kitchen. Um, so yeah, and again, that's already basked in the sunshine, and that's gone into storage as well. So yeah, so that's all done. Absolutely amazing crop this year of those.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what proportion of that are you going to be sort of taking to the market or selling or giving away, and how much can you actually use of that?
But primarily, we give away to the volunteers who've been actually nurturing and loving them and watering them and everything. So we've got several different volunteers up here at Soul Haven who actually work in the community garden space on a Monday. So they always get first dibs of everything. It's all about giving back to them. You know, they give so much of their time and effort and love in the market garden. They have first, do you want some onions and do you want some garlic? And
Oh,
please take some along the way. And then the rest will be in storage, ready for me to use in the kitchen. Sadly, we don't have enough crop of one particular thing to start really selling it. We do come and pick your own thing occasionally when we've inundated with something in particular. I'm just about to put a shout out maybe for people to come and pick their own berries and their own fruit, because I don't know what's happened this year in the season, but the black currants and the red currants and the loganberries and the gooseberries, we're just having mountains of them. So yeah, we are very blessed. But I'm going to put a little shout out, come and pick your own for a little donation along the way, and that will come out probably this weekend, come in. And we'll just open up the farm gate, see who comes, bring the family, bring the children, come and have a pick.
yeah.
And hopefully it's not too hot, hopefully it's not raining along the
So
way. So
what
yeah.
what else is almost ready to pick? What's been growing nicely other than the
Oh,
onions
the
and the garlic?
courgettes are in.
Yeah.
The pumpkins are in. We've got our first courgette flowers. So yeah, the courgettes are literally about, I don't know, 4 or 5
Maybe.
centimetres long at the moment. So yeah, so give or take a week or so and they'll be ready to harvest.
Wow, so they grow
Um,
fast then, don't they? If they're just that
oh
big, and then
yeah,
like a full courgette is it's pretty big.
yeah, yeah, and they can turn into a marrow within 2 weeks if they're in the right conditions. They love the water though, they love rain, they love to be hydrated
Hang on a
along the
minute.
way.
So a courgette and a marrow are the same thing? Really? Oh wow, mind blown. Never knew that.
Yeah, same thing.
Wow.
Marrow is just an overgrown courgette.
And then what happens if you don't pick it? It just take over the world. It just keeps growing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bigger and bigger and bigger along the way. So yes,
Wow, that's
well, that
amazing.
reminds me of my old favourite dish that my mum used to do: stuffed marrow when we was little.
Yummy.
Gosh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I always
Wow.
thought
So
they
yeah,
tasted similar, so that's kind of explained a lot. I've led a
yeah,
sheltered life. Um, and celeriac as well.
yeah.
And pop up.
Celeriac is in. It's in the beds now, and again, that's probably about excuse me 6 or 7 centimeters high now, but that's going to be ready in the autumn or the winter season. So that's a very slow grow along the way. Excuse me. So yeah, so plenty to be going on with. The big races around the rain. So at Soul Haven, we can actually collect 900,000 litres of rainwater.
Wow.
around the place. So we use that to obviously water everything that we can do. You see me late at night walking around with many, many different watering canfuls of water from there, but it is running dry.
So how do you
So,
collect the rainwater? Do you have lots of gutters that feed into different butts and things that kind of collect all of that water?
yeah, absolutely. So we've got water tanks, ICBs, that collect water from the guttering from the big polytunnel that we've got. And like you say, we've got water butts around the house, our summer house, what we call like the lodge area as well. So yeah, anywhere we can put a water butt, we put a water butt along the way. But they do empty very quickly, and normally they fill up quite quickly as well. But yeah, we are on minimum water right now. And that's okay, because it's really amazing how the nature of the plant then adapts to, well, if it hasn't got water, how does it adapt to not having quite so much hydration? And most of the plants seem to adapt really, really well. Yes, they're slower in growing, but they tend to survive along the way. Yeah. And another good thing that we're doing out in the garden at the moment is where we're cutting the lawns, we're now putting the lawn, oh gosh, what it's called, the grass cuttings from the lawn, we actually put them around the plants outside, and that acts that helps the moisture stay inside inside the soil. So yeah, the grass takes the main heat, and it keeps the moisture as warm, as good as possible within the earth as well.
That's
So
a great
yeah,
tip, though, isn't it, for everybody? When you cut your grass, put it around the flower beds so that your
yeah,
plants don't dry out. I'm gonna,
yeah,
yeah, gonna
absolutely,
use that one as well.
yeah, brilliant,
Very useful this
brilliant, yeah,
episode.
yeah.
So how does this all relate to permaculture, saving the water and making sure you collect all the rain?
Yeah, so one of the permaculture principles is catch and store energy, and it really does specifically apply towards the water more than anything else up here at Soulhaven. It's the importance of capturing and storing resources, so we can use it for later on and things. So yes, sometimes we turn the grass cuttings into hay, and then we put the hay underneath the strawberries, because if you lay the strawberries on hay or on straw, then it doesn't get eaten so much by little bugs as it's laying on the ground and things as well. So yeah, so catch and restore energy is very important for us here at Soulhaven.
I feel like maybe somebody realised this about the straw a long, long time ago, and that's why they're called strawberries. And maybe we're just cottoning on.
I love that, Grace.
Yeah, it's been lost over the
Yeah.
millennium. I was like, hang on a minute, put some straw down. Yeah, you never know. Nobody knows why they're called that. So that's obviously important, but you've also got the danger from above with the strawberries.
Absolutely, we do. It really is a race against time, because obviously you go out there one morning and the strawberries are still very much green, and you go out the next morning and you realise you've missed the ripe strawberry and the birds have had it. So yeah, it really is a case of, it reminds me of the scene of oh gosh, what's that film called? Finding Nemo, and you've got the seagulls and it goes mine, 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 and then all of a sudden it's gone. So yeah, we do have our little tricks up our sleeves. We have managed to cover up most of our strawberries in netting this year. One of our beautiful volunteers decided to make a little net cage to go over them, and it has truly worked. So we cut some willow down last year, and we've kept the willow, and then literally all we've done is to stake the willow around the strawberries, and then we've covered it in very fine mesh netting, and it's worked an absolute treat, because strawberries this year are in abundance. We've never had so many strawberries. They're soft, they're juicy, they're sweet, they're just like, oh yes. Yes,
This
a
is
little
great
bit
news.
of
Well,
paradise.
we have got a load of amazing facts and kind of clever facts about how strawberries can heal you, which we're going to deal with next here on A Good Life at Soulhaven. So tell me, what are the great things that we need to know about strawberries?
Strawberries are full of vitamin C. It contains over 100% of our daily vitamin C needs. And obviously the immune system, supporting collagen production, and it promotes the glow of the beautiful skin along the way as well. So yes, I eat many strawberries along the way. It certainly does make a huge impact along there. They're also good for antioxidants. They're rich. It really does help fight. Strawberries, when you eat strawberries, helps fight inflammation and helps protect against chronic diseases and cellular damage as well. So yeah, strawberries are just like the little miracle berries that are so easy to grow. And some people also think, well, it's a fruit, so it contains a lot of sugar. But obviously it's a natural sugar. So strawberries actually help your blood sugar as well, despite it being sweet. They have a low glycemic index, GI, and they contain a lot of fibre as well, so it helps regulate the blood sugars. A lot of people think, well, I can't take too much sugar. A lot of the diabetics think, well, that's too high in sugar, but actually fruit sugars aren't too bad for you, but if you have them regularly, your body will start to be able to digest the glucose and the sugar content of most fruit along there. So yeah,
that's useful to know, because I think it's sort of refined processed sugar that's the worst, and natural sugar that occurs in fruit is still sugar, but it's not as harmful to the body as kind of ultra processed sugary foods.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Chris. It really is. Something as natural as fruit, something as natural as fruit contains all the natural sugars that our body needs and our body's used to. Just because it's not a refined sugar, and because maybe we haven't eaten so much fruit in the past, our body doesn't know how to react to the natural sugar anymore, so it has to work twice as hard. So what I would suggest is start little and often and have one or two maybe strawberries, and then you can increase it gradually over a course of time to take your refined sugar out of your diet, but actually naturally sweet with sugars and fruit and things like that. And the body is very, very clever and will adjust slowly over a course of time.
Do you know what my parents do, which is probably terrible? They put sugar on strawberries. Are they not sweet enough already? Like, just somebody not put enough sugar in the strawberries, so they'll just like pile on like tablespoons of sugar on top of these strawberries, and you just think, I don't think it's really necessary, but each to their own taste.
I remember my mother serving me strawberries with condensed milk and sugar on top. When I was a child, and the condensed milk's the really thick, ultra sweet condensed milk. So yeah, and it's just like, okay.
You loved it though.
No wonder I've got a sweet tooth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a lot to answer for.
Yeah. Gosh, what else is the strawberry good for? Heart healing. Regular consumption is linked to healthy heart, reduces cholesterol, and it lowers blood pressure as well, because they're very high in potassium, and potassium is always good to help lower the blood pressure along the way. So yeah, healthy heart.
That's good.
Yeah, anti-inflammatory. Again, we've talked about inflammation in the body, but it also aids, strawberries also aid your joints and your tissue around your joints to be repaired easily as well. So yes, and I've also got on my list of things here, autoimmune conditions.
Okay.
Because they're natural. So anything natural helps the body realign itself along the way as well. So yeah, very interesting. And then
really
the last thing I've got on my list is obviously skin and liver detox support. So strawberries will help cleanse the blood and support the I can't say this
lymphatic.
word. Thank you. System as well. So yeah, so they help, and it drains out all the toxins. Okay. So it will help the liver detox along the way as well. So yeah, especially if you eat them first thing in the morning, before you've had your coffee or your croissant or your toast or your sugary cereal and things. Just pop a few strawberries in there, and your liver will be very, very grateful for it.
That's good. And they leave a nice taste in the mouth afterwards. So
Yeah.
um, I would have another one after the coffee, as like a palate cleanser.
Of course,
Yeah,
just cleanse it all out and detox the caffeine that you've got taken in.
why not?
Yeah,
Keep a box of
yeah,
them in your pocket all day and just keep popping them. Little strawberries. It's strawberry time. Um, well, that's wonderful. It's also good for your mental health as well, isn't it? Eating strawberries, kind of for a sort of an emotional detox.
yeah, absolutely. Again, because it's a natural substance and it helps detox, excuse me, it helps detox the brain as well as the liver, and it just rebalances and everything. So yeah, emotional detox is also quite good as well, to be able to do something like that with fresh fruit along the way.
Wonderful.
So yeah, but some people ask me, well, how do we at Soul Haven incorporate strawberries? Obviously, we just go and pick. We picked about 2.5 pounds today, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's
How long
like
do
one for
they?
the pot and one for me.
How long do they keep? So how quickly have you got to eat those strawberries?
Well, I can't honestly say because they
You've
go.
never found out.
Yeah, they don't last that long. But I would say now I picked some the other day because I was doing a wedding. So I picked 2 days before and they were still absolutely perfect after being sat in the fridge along
Okay.
the way. So yeah, I would say probably maximum 5 days if you need to refrigerate them and keep them like
Is
that.
it better to keep them in the fridge then? Because like some vegetables are better not kept in the fridge.
Yeah. So the fridge will slow down. I don't want to use the word decaying, but I'll just use it because I can't think of another word right now. But yeah, so the fridge will slow down any decay of any fruit or vegetables. If you are putting your strawberries in the fridge, I would recommend take them out of the fridge maybe an hour, 2 hours before you want to eat them, because then you get the true taste of the strawberry and of the berry, rather than anything straight out the fridge, straight into the mouth. You don't get the true flavour of it. It's like a good cheese, isn't it? They always say take your cheese out of the fridge beforehand, before you want to
Yeah, but
watch
I
it,
think on a
actually
hot
want
day
to
it's
eat.
nice to have cold strawberries rather
Yeah,
than room temperature strawberries. And if it's really hot, you don't really want your strawberry warming up to 30 degrees in the kitchen before
no,
you eat it. So I don't
no.
know, balancing
But
act.
they are very good in a smoothie, a nice cold smoothie.
Okay, what else would you put in the smoothie with the
Yeah.
strawberries?
On a healthy day, let's go on unhealthy day. And on unhealthy day, I would put ice cream, maybe some plant milk, in there, a few ice cubes in there, and then you've got a really nice thick strawberry milkshake consistency and taste. On a good healthy day, I would put Greek yogurt in there, maybe a little bit of orange juice, maybe a little tiny bit of spirulina in there, just to make sure I've got the spirulina content coming in as well. So yeah, depending what kind of mood I'm in for that day, whether it's sweet and not so healthy or more healthy along
I
there
think,
as well. So yeah,
yeah, you've got lots of ways of balancing the flavors as well. So if you want something, maybe some mint to balance out the sweetness of the strawberries, or some
yeah,
lime or something to add a slightly more of a balance with the
yeah,
flavors. I don't know, it's interesting
definitely.
to think about
That's a really good
that.
idea. Watermelon and strawberries go
Oh
really well.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
really go well. So yeah, watermelon, strawberries, bit lime juice, and then you haven't got anything creamy substance in there, and then you've almost got like, gosh, what were they called when you went to the garage? Slush puppy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those years ago. I'm showing my age now, aren't I, Chris?
I love a slush puppy. That's a great call because it's basically ice with syrup in, but you could do the same thing with natural fruits and fruit juices
Yeah,
and stuff, couldn't you? Definitely.
yeah.
And it says here you can also make leaf tea with strawberries. Is that the
Oh,
strawberry
yeah.
leaves?
Strawberry leaves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so the whole plant, I wouldn't, I say the whole plant is edible, yes, but I wouldn't go and pick off a strawberry leaf and eat it, no. But strawberry leaf tea, and again, that is literally picking off your leaves, giving them a quick wash under cold water, adding it to boiled water and let it steep, probably for about 5 minutes, and you'll actually get strawberry flavoured water.
Really? So the leaves taste strawberry-like?
The leaves taste
So
strawberry-like.
it's amazing, isn't it? That
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's part of the same plant, but you wouldn't imagine that the leaves would have the same flavour as the fruit. But there you go.
Yeah. It's
There you go.
interesting.
Well, thank you very much for those inspiring inspiring ideas with strawberries. And I don't think we need too much encouragement, but this is the time to get proper. And you need to know where to find them, don't you? Because I think sometimes when you can see strawberries all year round in the supermarket, you worry that when it is strawberry season, it might be the same strawberries that they've been providing in January. You want to make sure you're getting local, fresh, proper strawberries.
Yeah, proper strawberries. You will see on the label of any supermarket strawberry where they've come from. Primarily, if it's not the UK's strawberry season, they come from Spain, sometimes from New Zealand. So yeah, but do have a look out for your UK-based strawberries, and they do taste very different from the imported strawberries that we can get all year round on our supermarket shelves and things. And they're really easy to grow as well. Absolutely, they're really easy to grow. What's a wonderful thing is that a strawberry will produce runners. So as the strawberry plant grows, then you've got the runner that comes off. If you snip the runner and put the runner into another pot, hey presto, you've got another strawberry plant.
Wow, so it's that easy.
It's that easy.
Just
Yeah.
spread.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, we started off over here at Soulhaven probably with about 3 strawberry plants that we were very blessed with and got gifted to us. And now everything underneath the forest garden, I can't do measurements, I'm really sorry. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, 20 foot by 20 foot in our forest garden. The whole area is covered with strawberries now. Yeah, very easy.
But it must,
Just
yeah.
find somebody who's got a strawberry plant and ask for a runner.
So do they all become ripe at the same time, or do you have to kind of keep an eye on all of the strawberries simultaneously to just spot when one's suddenly going to be ready?
Primarily, they're all kind of ready at the same time. We do have, as the strawberry grows, it tends to dangle off the plant a little bit. So we go around and turn our strawberries to make sure that they have got the sun access, because it's underneath them, primarily underneath the oak tree, so that provides them with shade. So yeah, sometimes we have to go and turn them and coax them into becoming ripe from the odd one or two. But yeah, we do have a lot of strawberries at the moment, and I'm very happy with that.
That'd be a good job to have, strawberry coaxer. But you'd have to get Wade in the morning and Wade in the afternoon to just make sure there's no shenanigans going on. You'd be like, no, strawberry's still not ready. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel a bit sick, but no, they're definitely not ready. Right. So you're listening to A Good Life at Soulhaven, and we're coming on to talk about the power of using your voice, which I'm very interested to hear a little bit more about. And this is all to do with the permaculture principle, use and value diversity. So how does this all tie in together?
That's a really good question, Chris. Yeah, so use and value diversity, and it is our voice, and it is all about our voice. When it comes to mental health, one of the most radical and healing acts that we can do is actually use our voice. Speaking up about how we feel. There's so many of us, myself included, we don't like to speak up about how we're feeling, especially if you're not having such a great day and you don't want to burden people. But also, the voice can be for good things as well as joyful things, as well as not so great things. The voice just isn't about communication, it's about connection as well. So just like we're talking here, Chris, we're both using our voice, we're both saying and laughing and communicating to each other, whether it's about strawberries, condensed milk, or anything else along the way, and courgettes and things. But the more we use our voice, we get heard, because one of the basic things that every human wants is to be seen, to be loved, and to be heard. And so often, especially in this busy world that we live in, we don't have time to be heard. along the way. Everybody's watching the clock or distracted with mobile devices, or just really busy trying to get through everyday life, that we don't have time to be heard. And then obviously if we try to speak up and then we're not heard, and that happens over and over again, there forms a habit, well, even if I do speak up, I'm not heard, so why bother speaking up anymore? And then that's when the disconnection comes, and we don't speak it anymore. We don't speak about the joy, the laughter, the sad, the tears, the dark moments, the light moments, or anything. We're just almost silent, and then the craving of wanting to be heard takes over us, and then that can provide us with a depression, anxiety, or any other mental health concern, because we're not voicing. Even though it is our throat, it's a very important part of the throat, but the voice comes from the heart along the way. So for too long, silence has been a very big survival strategy for so many of us along the way. It's almost like being trapped in a prison with ourselves. But when we break the silence, we also give permission to others to also break that silence as well. So when we're in the Plough and the Mind, Michaela and I, so Michaela's our resident occupational therapist that we have here, who helps run Plough and the Mind. We don't sit there and not speak our truth. We go through stuff. We have realizations. We have moments of, oh, right, okay, that's why I do that. Or, oh, right, okay, I still need to work on this. None of us are perfect.
Right, it's the marrow.
Yeah, yeah, precisely that. Another way, so yeah. But as we speak up, we're also giving permission to others to speak up. So it's like dropping a pebble. When you go to a lake or a river and you drop a pebble and it has a ripple effect. Well, that pebble is us giving other people permission to speak up and to be heard and say exactly how it is that they are feeling. And it doesn't have to be right, wrong, good, bad, black, white, or anything like that. But yeah, let's start creating that ripple effect along the way. I mean, we've had it with one gentleman today. He's come to the volunteer community garden space, and he's been a few times now, and he's been quite quiet, and he's sat and observed. And the volunteer coordinator is a quite chatty guy, bless him, John. He's an amazing person, and he likes to chat. And he's like, well, they're not chatting back. Why are they not chatting back? And then slowly over the course of time, they begin to trust him. And then there's this whole two-way connection between them as they communicate and become quite vulnerable and say how life is, without this whole pretentious thing that we have to be perfect in everything that we do, because we're all human at the end of the day. So yeah, we're just starting to witness that ripple effect in one or two of the volunteers that have been in here for a while. So yeah.
I think you're right though, because it's when you're in a room of people that you're not completely confident in the company of, when it's strangers, and especially if they all know each other and they're chatting away, you don't want to say something stupid, you don't want to embarrass yourself, and it's very easy to just listen and not talk. And when somebody asks you a question and seems interested in what you got to say, it kind of gives you permission to become part of the group verbally. And I think if you are in a situation where you've got somebody in the room who's not saying anything, it's important for all of us to kind of spot that and make them feel included and make them feel like you value what they've got to contribute. And I think a lot of the time people are they don't seem to notice quiet people, and it's important to give them the opportunity to talk, because a lot of the time they've got lots to say. They just need to be put in a situation where they feel like they've been given permission to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the beginning, especially if somebody hasn't spoken for a while or hasn't been heard for a while, the lack of confidence to actually stand up or sit up and speak or join into that conversation in that particular room, they're only going to say one or two things. And then, like you say, it's for all of us to collectively join together and encourage. So we do that quite a lot in Plough in the Mind. It takes a couple of weeks for people to get used to the fact that they can be heard and we are listening to them. And it is just such an important tool. And we don't have to shout from the rooftops. We don't have to say everything really, really loud. It's like staying silent for so long, and then all of a sudden you have this huge, great big outburst. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, gosh, it's not the right words. I was going to say unformed habit of staying the silence there as well. So, yeah, but it is about being real when we do speak as well. It's not about how we pronounce it, what we look like, whether we get the word wrong, whether we're reading something out aloud and we can't read it due to, I don't know, dyslexia or anything like that as well. But it is all about being real.
And I think it's also realising that other people don't care if you say a word wrongly. You care because you get obsessed about it and you beat yourself up over it because you feel stupid when you've stumbled over your words or something. But actually the person that's listening to you talking, they're not thinking about that at all. They're listening to what you've got to say and they're hearing what you want to get across, not how you're saying it.
Yeah, absolutely. By speaking up, we have to, it's about nourishing the collective as well. It's about well-being about ourselves and nurturing our own garden along the way. And it isn't just about us as an individual, it's about a collective whole within the community. And it really is going back to that ripple effect. But every time someone dares to speak the truth, it creates the room and gives permissions for others to grow along the way. So yeah, it nurtures the internal garden as well as the external along the way. I love that analogy. Yeah, sorry, just having a realisation there. But yeah, it nurtures all of it along the way. So yeah, so the voice is really very important. And learning how to use it effectively so you are heard is an experience. You're never going to get it right the first time. It is about thinking about every word that does matter. Sometimes you can meet somebody or you meet up with your friends and it's all chat. Well, what is it that you're actually trying to say as they go around the houses rather than speaking the truth? Because the truth maybe isn't known, or they don't know what they want to say in a whole sentence, or they don't know how to articulate it in words because they're out of practice, myself included.
No, I know many people that can talk to you for ages without saying anything at all. It's just all banal, complete irrelevance. But I think it's as much of a skill to be a good listener as to be a good communicator. And I think just knowing when somebody's really spilling their heart out and respecting that enough to actually listen to what they're saying instead of trying to jump in and have your say is a big skill as well. Definitely.
It is, and that's a really fine quality to bring to any conversation, is to be a listener, but a listener with compassion rather than the judgment of things. To be able to speak and voice something that's truth with courage, we have to remember that we need to be compassionate with that person who's actually doing it, with no judgment and no, oh, well, I do it this way and, oh, well, I do it better than you, and comparison and things, but just to be heard, because that is basically all we're wanting to be along the way. The power in the voice is tremendous once we start using it and articulating it along the way. Another great thing that we do is a drumming circle, as you know, Chris. But in the drumming circle, we invite people not just to sing along with the call and response songs, but we have a free drumming. Let me start again. So we have a free drumming session within the drumming, so it's not all call and response songs. And it's a free drum to play your own thing, do your own thing. We invite dance, but we also invite people to make noises with their voices, just to try and get that experience out with your voice without looking silly, and learning that actually you can just make a noise with your voice and it doesn't actually have to come out in any particular way. And we've watched people grow, like that, one or two come in and they're very timid and bang the drum and try and get the right beat, and there is no right beat. It is just what it feels like, whatever beat you want to play along there. And we start making different noises. Some people whistle, some people make the Indian noise like and things like cowboys and Indians. Other people have got some very beautiful voices, or there's people like me who think they can sing and they really can't. But to watch people grow over a course of time as they keep coming back, and to have more confidence to use their voice just to make a noise. I mean, if you can relate it back, look at babies when they're first born. They love the gurgling, they love the noise, and then they've got, over a course of time, they learn to use their voice and they realise they can speak out, and how to get somebody's attention and how to be heard along the way. And then over a course of time, obviously, you're told to be quiet at school and in the library, and you can't say that, don't interrupt me, and da-di-da-di-da. And again, that's where the patterns are learned as well, for us not to speak our voice. So yeah, it's all about the voice.
It's very interesting, because that is how children learn to talk, by learning what noises they can make, and then when they know how to create a certain sound, that's how they can replicate what they're hearing with what they're saying. But you can't say a word unless you know how to form that word with your mouth and your vocal cords. And that's what they're doing when they're like babies and children. It's so clever that we think they're just making gurgling noises and just being daft, but it's all part of the brain just creating those neural pathways and turning itself into this incredibly intelligent human being that you become. It's remarkable, really. And then they get to the age of mine where it's about trying to stop them just talking constantly, and especially that cowboy noise. I regret the day I taught them to, no, there's a time and a place. So you've got 3 kind of introspective questions for people to ponder over, to kind of see where they are with this sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So question 1 was, when was the last time you truly let yourself be heard, not just by others, but by yourself as well? So we speak externally to be heard, but internally, do we actually hear ourselves? Because the body, your instinct, your gut instinct, your garden within is all trying to talk to you at the same time. So the invitation is to go inwardly and hear yourself, as well as externally listen to others along the way. And maybe you're holding back or silencing yourself because of lack of trust and things. So it's an interesting question to ponder on. Yeah, and then question 2 is, if your voice could speak the one truth your heart has been holding, what would it want to say?
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a big question.
It is,
and it's
isn't
one
it?
of those things that if you can't admit it to yourself, then you need to spend a bit longer just giving it some thought, because there might be something that you're not even conscious of, but the more you kind of think about it. And what's a good sort of method to have that sort of, is it almost like a meditation where you're kind of searching your mind for the answers to something?
That's a really good question, Chris. I would say yes, meditate or play some soft background or music or something, but also have a book, have a journal, have a piece of paper, and maybe write. Because writing in a book is really, really good. It doesn't answer back, it doesn't judge, it doesn't look at your spelling, it doesn't look at your grammar or anything, but you've been able to voice it by writing it. And it doesn't have to be perfect and think, oh, well, how do you spell this word? How do you spell that word? That doesn't sound right or anything. So, yes, so voicing it on paper helps. They always say a problem shared is a problem already half solved. But actually really connecting with your heart through the meditation or the soft music, and just allow yourself to be heard from inside out along the way. And you'll be quite surprised what comes up, actually, when you start actually connecting with the one thing or your heart and the one thing that you actually want to say along the way. So, yeah, try it. It may sound odd, it may be uncomfortable. Obviously, it's going to stir, this could potentially stir deep emotions. It could stir the fact that you are being honest. But it encourages, writing it encourages safe expression along the way. And the more you do it, the better you become of it. And it feels more and more comfortable along the way. So yeah, whenever you start writing, well, what do I write? Well, I don't know what to write, and that starts the flow off along the way. So yeah, it's a good question. I might have to do that this week, actually.
Yeah, it's that kind of writing down stream of consciousness of like the thoughts that are in your head, and once you start, your inner monologue doesn't stop, even when you try not to think of anything. It's almost impossible because things will always pop into your head.
Yeah.
So,
and also writing things down. If you're seeking an answer, and I know I do this quite a lot, sometimes I seek an answer from somebody else because I don't quite judge, I don't quite trust my own judgment on something, or I don't quite get it at the full answer. Then I start sharing with paper, and I actually end up finding the answer within myself, which is really good, because the inner voice is obviously trying to say something to me. And if we always go externally for decisions, well, what do you think about this and what do you think about that? Are we being true to our true authentic self? No, because we're taking on everybody else's opinions, and then that turns into people pleasing. Oh, well, I better write that or better say that now because they've suggested X, Y and Z along the way. So go back to journaling, go back, and we've always got the answers to every We've always said something there. We've always got the answer to every question that we want to know about ourselves internally. It's about being honest about it. And yeah, and if emotions come up, sit with the emotions. If you cry, cry. If you're sad, own that sadness. It doesn't have to engulf you, but own it for a while. It's a part of you that we need to acknowledge. The grief, the sadness, the tears, but also if joy comes up, own the joy. Yeah, we can be joyful, connecting to our heart. We can be joyful about saying the one thing that we actually really want to say to ourselves along the way. So yeah.
And if you do cry, turn the page over before you carry on writing because it will smudge.
Yes.
And what was the third question that we should ask ourselves?
The third question, now this opens the door to vocal freedom. What would shift in your life if you gave yourself permission to make sound without judgment, without apology, just for you? Because so many of us apologise for saying something that we truly want to say.
And for bad singing.
Yeah, and for bad singing. And singing is singing. Every human being can sing, but somebody's put a judgment on it that you can't sing. I joined a choir when I was really young, and I love singing. But I was told from a very young age, you can't sing. You can't be in the choir because you can't sing. I just couldn't sing the notes that they wanted me to sing. I mean,
Yeah.
again, going back to children and how they express their joy and their happiness, they sing and they make up their own music and they make up their own words and they just create that beat, whether that's with a toy or a little xylophone or a little instrument or a twig that they've picked up and it's like a recorder or something and they're just humming away. There is no judgment, it's just joy.
There's constant noise. I would call it noise more than music, but they're expressing themselves. And
Yeah.
you might regret giving them that piano or the guitar, but that's how they're creating their sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finding their inner voice, finding their external voice. Yeah. Sometimes I think we all need to reconnect with our inner child a little bit and just have that freedom of voice. And say, yeah, without anything else.
And if anyone
Interesting
is
questions.
interested, if you send me an email through the podcast, I'm quite happy to provide audio recordings of my children's music for you to enjoy in your own time. Let me know. I don't think I'm going to get
I
a
did
huge
it this
response.
weekend. Sorry, I did it last weekend. Now, I have a 9-year-old nephew. I'm sure you won't mind me sharing. Obviously, it's been hot, so he's got a big paddling pool out in the garden, and I went and visited him recently. And he's out there, and he's by himself, whilst all of us adults were indoors and doing the sensible thing, trying to keep cool indoors. And he's like, "Oh, Auntie Tash, come out and play." It's like, no, Nicholas, come and play with me. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'll come out. Bless him. He's by himself as a child, and the house is full of adults. And I ended up rolling up my trousers and running around this paddling pool with him, screaming at the top of my voice. And we were playing chase around this paddling pool. It all sounds very silly. But he loved it because we were just screaming at each other. And he
Not.
loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it brought me back to my childhood and my inner little child that hadn't been allowed to play. But it's just the freedom of
No, that sounds
I'm
brilliant.
sure the neighbours didn't quite think of it like that, but yeah.
Oh no, but they wanted to get in the paddling pool as well because it was so hot. Would be very refreshing. Okay, well, on to our recipe of the week now, and we've been talking about our superstar strawberries, and we've got a recipe that involves the humble strawberry.
Yes, so a really simple, sophisticated dish that brings us strawberries' natural sweetness with a zest of a twist. So maybe some of you may have heard about this wonderful ingredient that goes well with strawberries, but it's not a common thing that you find in a recipe book. It's becoming more into now with things. So strawberries, balsamic vinegar, maple syrup or honey, fresh mint or fresh basil, and ground black pepper is the thing.
That's
So
quite a combination because you've got strawberries are very sweet. You wouldn't expect to put pepper with those, or basil, or the balsamic vinegar. And I don't even know what this recipe is called because you've just gone straight into it. I'm just trying to work out what you're going to make with all this. Yeah.
I don't know what this dish is called, actually. It's one of my favourite recipes to do with strawberries. To serve as, I don't know, like a little snack. Sometimes I serve it as a starter and people are like, well, I'm having strawberries as a starter. Yeah, you are, because it's a savoury strawberries dish. But black pepper actually brings out the undertones of the strawberry taste, and they taste more and more in depth. Try it. Like you've got the balsamic vinegar, obviously that's the sour taste along there. The balsamic vinegar aids digestion, enhances the nutrition absorption. Black pepper also boosts metabolism and enhances the nutrients found in the strawberries as well. So yeah, it's a really good combo. Really good combo. And again, if you want to make it into a dessert, make it into a dessert with your coconut yogurt, vanilla ice cream. You can have it on toasted crostini or toasted panini or something like that as well, or on top of a salad with rocket and walnuts and things. So yeah, basically wash your strawberries, pick your strawberries, wash your strawberries, drizzle over the vinegar and the maple syrup, add the black pepper, mix it all up, leave it for about 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then serve at room temperature. And they are amazing.
It sounds yummy, and I like the way that you've taken strawberries, but it sounds like this would taste completely different from what a strawberry would normally taste like, and with a lot more complexity of a flavour in there, with all of that stuff all kind of creating that medley of different flavours and different notes. Yeah, very interested to try that.
Yeah, nice little short recipe there for you this week.
I don't think I've got any of those things in the cupboard apart from the pepper, so I need to go shopping and get a load of maple syrup and balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, or use honey if you're into honey, then use honey as well. That's also good.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so thank you very much for the recipe. And we're going to talk about some events that are coming up. We've got an important one happening on the 28th of June, which is going to be yesterday. But
no, 28th of June.
Yeah, that's Saturday, isn't it?
Yes.
So this will be going out on
yes,
Sunday.
It'll be yesterday, yes.
Yes, but was it good?
My sweet sensational supper club 7-course dessert menu taster session.
It sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing, doesn't it? It's always a delight. But I will share with you a couple of things along the way as well. So so every dessert has had a little story connected to it, which was really good. What kind of things were on the menu? Cucumber, let me get this right. Cucumber, cucumber, basil and lime sorbet.
Oh, yum.
Was one of them. Tiramisu,
Love
all
tiramisu.
vegan, all gluten-free, all refined sugar-free. We had a hot chocolate brownie with hazelnuts, sticky toffee pudding and caramel sauce. And then, what else? Oh, elderberry creme brulee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Anything with strawberries?
And I had a strawberry compote in with profiteroles as well. So rather than serving the profiteroles with your normal chocolate sauce, I did like a strawberry Kool-Aid sauce over the top of them because we had the hot chocolate brownie as one of the desserts along there. And then, herbal tea with beetroot and chocolate truffles.
Beetroot. Yeah.
You're going to have to come to one of them, Chris.
I really do need to come to one of those.
Yeah.
And how often do these happen? So if you missed it yesterday, when's the next one going to be?
That's a really good question. Bear with me one moment because I'm not ready for that along the way.
They happen every few months?
They happen once a month.
Okay. So
yeah, they happen once a month
the end
in
of
the
July.
year. Yeah. Now, July's is not going to be all about desserts because that was quite a colossal take on something quite different. July the 26th is the next one.
Okay.
I don't know about the theme yet, but they are very small. They're very intimate. It's all held in a yurt up here at Soulhaven. And it's a community table, so it's one large table. So everybody gets served the starters, the main course, desserts all at the same time. But everything is put on the table and to help yourself. And when we talk about starter, we're talking normally about 4 or 5 different starters that you can help yourself and taste with. And then there's always one main course, but with 3, 4, 5 different side dishes. So it's like a tapas every single time. And then dessert is normally just one dessert along the way. But somebody requested a dessert menu. Someone said, oh yeah, your desserts are amazing. Can we not just have a dessert menu? And I went, yeah, of course. It's not a problem at all. I hear you. And I ticked my box tremendously well because obviously my sweet tooth was all over it
Yeah.
and things. So yeah,
No, it sounds
happy
glorious.
days.
Sounds
Yeah.
lovely, and also nice that it's not too hot now. Because I think desserts, when it's really hot, especially like your sticky toffee puddings and things, it can be a bit much. But on a day that's a bit more like this, it's perfect because it's summery, but without being so hot that you just want ice cream. Yeah, excellent.
So yeah, I'll let you know about the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
The
And
next.
can is it mostly adults? Do you do anything with with like families with children as well?
Sadly, I don't do meals with children. No, I do.
That would be chaos, to be fair.
That
I
would be
think it
chaos.
would
But
be.
I tell you what, I do actually, Chris, which I haven't mentioned before about this. Actually, I do children's cooking workshops at Malton Community Library.
Oh, that sounds good.
Third Thursday in
Yeah.
every month, and it is chaos. And they are encouraged to make a mess. They are encouraged to get their hands dirty along the way. It is with a parent or guardian. So, but we encourage the child to do a lot of what they've done. So, gosh, what did I do? I did last week with them. I did Weetabix energy balls.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Kids love
and it was
Weetabix. I
amazing.
can't get enough of Weetabix. I don't know what it is
Yeah.
about Weetabix. I don't just can't see the attraction, but yeah, they're just
So let me
obsessed with
ask
it.
you a question. Weetabix. Do you have your Weetabix with milk or do you spread them with butter?
Oh no, it's just yeah, just breakfast cereal. Just put milk in, and then they'll eat a bit of the Weetabix, and then leave it just long enough for it to set like concrete, so that when you try and wash the bowls up, you can't get it off the bottom. So it's evil stuff. I'll try just spreading it with butter and give them that as like a biscuit. But
Yeah,
it's the
that's a really
crumbs as
old-fashioned
well.
thing
Oh,
for. Yeah, my mother used to give me Weetabix. My mother's got a lot to answer for. I love her to bits. God bless her. Um, but yeah, I used to have Weetabix spread with butter and jam as my breakfast.
did you not have any milk in the house, or
Well, it was either the butter and the jam or go and milk the cow. So yeah, the butter and the jam won every single time.
not the cow directly onto the Weetabix?
Yeah, I always remember one time I was running late for school. I said, "Mum, there's no milk." She goes, "Well, you know what to do. Go and milk the cow." What? Yeah, sorry I'm late at school. I had to go
Know
and milk
what
the
to
cow.
do. Milk it yourself. Dear. Well, that's lovely. But yeah, it's all of the properties of Weetabix that I'm opposed to, and also it's just you can't open the packet of Weetabix without spraying Weetabix dust and crumbs all over the kitchen. So I've banned it, but people keep buying it. So it's time for the card of the week. Let's give ourselves some inspiration
Yeah.
for the week ahead.
Give me a number between 1 and 72.
Okay, 68. Give me here all day. Let's go for 13, I think.
Oh, lucky number
Lucky for
13.
some. You shouldn't tempt me with that sort of a question.
No, no. It's like, how am I going to do that one?
You should have counted backwards from the bottom.
I could have done actually,
Yeah, we
couldn't I?
didn't think of that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
next time.
next time.
Next time.
Next time, try and be
Okay, so
clever.
the card you picked is
Emily!
family.
Aw,
That's a really pretty card.
it is
So
pretty.
yeah.
And I was just talking about families, wasn't I? And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, when you've got a young family like me and you've got little kids, it becomes the thing that you just keep going on about. And I seem to manage to drop mentions of my family in at every opportunity, but it's just because I don't know, it's just a nice thing to talk about, and it's good to share. You want to share your family and funny stories and things with everybody when you're in that situation, but I guess it's different for different people, and if your family is not such a happy thing to think about, or it's you know it stirs different emotions, then I guess it is different for different people.
Yeah. It is, isn't it? Yeah. It's an interesting one, card to pull.
And also, just like the whole community is like a family, isn't it? You've got different families. So you've got your work family, you've got your family of friends, you've got your extended family, you've got your radio podcast family,
Yep.
and it's yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I think it's a lovely word because it just makes people feel like you care about them if you kind of say that they're part of one of your families.
Yeah,
It's like when you've
absolutely.
got family friends that you call Uncle so and so or Auntie so and so when they come round, and it's just yeah, it just kind of makes them part of the circle of love.
Yeah, oh, I like that. Secular love. Yeah, it's a good card. Good card. For me, that's a reminder, family. It's a reminder that as we get older, we appreciate our elderly parents in particular. Um, yeah, I've lead a very busy life, but I'm beginning to realise actually as my parents get older, I want to spend more time with them as family, and just do the nothingness of just but conversation and chatting and be compassionate when I have to repeat things 3 times and things along the way. So yeah, it's a good reminder. Good card.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that was nice.
Yeah,
So,
good
what have we
card.
got coming up
Thank
next
you.
week on A Good Life at Soul Haven?
Oh, Life at Soul Haven. Well, hopefully Gareth should be with us um, in Spain. So yeah, so hopefully he's not melting over there too much. I know it's about 38 degrees over there at the moment. So
Wow.
yes, that's like hot, and we think we've had it hot. But yeah, he's
Yeah, it's
well in the
dangerous
thick of
that
things. Of
sort of temperature,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, so hopefully he'll be back. Obviously, we'll have a recipe of the week, regarding updates. If it is still hot, I share some food to keep you cool.
Hmm.
What things to eat when you're keeping cool, and how sound can help our first chakra.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which
and
one
what
is that?
sounds do you make?
What's our
Pardon?
first? Which one is our first chakra? How many of those do we have?
First one is right. The base chakra. It's the first one. First soul house. First chakra. With things. So yeah, but different chakras have different noises. So yes,
Wow.
you may have be listening to my voice a little bit if it's me doing it. Are on the way. But yeah, so we all can get more aligned with our chakras, and how do we do that and reconnected with our chakras along the way.
Brilliant.
So yeah,
Well, thank you
and then
very
I
much.
may get Samuel's bowl out and do a ding ding maybe.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Why not? How hard can it be?
yeah.
Um,
We'll see.
we will find out next time. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'm going to go off and start looking for local strawberries and balsamic vinegar and syrup and all those other lovely things. And we will see you next time. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you ever so much, Chris.